What is going on, guys? It is Laker Nation all day. You know how we do it in here. It's all about us. And the Lakers lost, right? Without LeBron James, you think that this team was going to lose by 20 or 30 points, but that's not what happened. In fact, it was almost the opposite, right? The Lakers were in a winning position. Up until the fourth quarter, I would say about the 6 minute mark, that's when Denver really started to extend their lead. And it's been an issue all season long. We just never had that ability to close when it mattered most, right? You know, I understand we have AD, I understand we have LeBron, but those aren't necessarily the most reliable closers on a consistent basis. Russell Westbrook has actually been an elite closer if you look at the analytics for the past 5 or 6 years. So really, he's our only closer, but even then, he's been kind of up and down this season. So really, this team has lacked a closer, right? And in the first 3 quarters, we were in it the whole time. And we just let go in the fourth. Defensively, we're just allowing too many easy baskets. And to be honest with you, I'm not even that mad. First of all, I thought our chances of making the play-in tournament were already pretty slim. This doesn't change anything, right? Obviously, with us losing to the Nuggets without LeBron James, if we were going to make the play-in, we would have to win this game and LeBron would have to be playing, but that's not what happened. But let's just go over the game, right? Because I just want to talk about AD for a second because I know he's been getting a lot of criticism, or he's the reason why we haven't been winning these games and all this stuff. You know, the Lakers should be competent enough to stay around 500 without AD. Stop putting all the blame on AD is my thing. Now, I understand he had his injuries, and a few of them he really could not control, right? A defender landed on his leg, right? He couldn't stop that one against Minnesota, right? The one where Malik Monk tossed up the lob, right? I understand it, but my point is this team should be able to be responsible themselves and stay around 500. When you have LeBron, Russ, Malik Monk, Dwight Howard, when you have, a solid team around LeBron and Russ, you should be able to stay around 500. Look what the Clippers do without Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Do you see them crumbling almost 15 games under 500? No, you do not. So the position that the Lakers are in, yes, you can say AD's been injured, but that is not the biggest reason why we are 15 games under 500. AD, first of all, I don't want to hear it. He's been playing through injuries all season long. He brought us a championship 2 seasons back. And now all of a sudden fans and LeBron fans, they just want to turn their back on him and whatever the case is, criticizing him in any way or form they can. AD on a bad foot, by the way. He is not 100%. He's come out and said he's not 100%. He was in pain the entire game today. And he's never been 100%. But he decided to play because he wanted to push that progression because he ultimately felt bad and more bad that, he was holding his team back because he was injured and whatever the case was. But the point is, AD came out this game and just played great. Now, I know we lost the game, so it's, I don't want to, talk about too much with regards to how well the Lakers played. But AD, 28 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, being that playmaker that LeBron would usually be, but obviously doing that in LeBron's absence, 2 steals and 3 blocks. So I don't know what more you want AD to do on a bad foot. I know that, it says plus minus, -10, but take that with a grain of salt because plus minus isn't everything, and I know people are going to look to that. But I'm just saying AD came out and just dominated when he was out on the court. And this was with a 1-foot AD. Keep in mind, when I know you look at Jokic's stat line, 36, 17, and 6, but trust me, when AD was guarding Jokic, Jokic looked like he didn't look like the MVP Jokic. He had 7 turnovers for a reason. Most of those points and stats came along when Dwight was guarding him or Stanley Johnson was guarding him. It was not when AD was guarding him. AD did a great job defensively and offensively as well, right? I mean, he made all of his free throws, which has been an issue all season long. But I'm just telling you now, I don't want to hear people blame AD. This is not AD's fault. I don't care what anyone says. This is literally not AD's fault. This team has a responsibility to stay around 500 with or without AD. There's no excuse for that. Okay, let's talk about Russell Westbrook because he played a fantastic game. 27 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and just 1 turnover. And can we talk about how he shot 11 of 15 from the field? I mean, this was, when you look at this game, right? We lost this barely. Russell Westbrook and AD played as well as they probably could, given the circumstances. AD on a bad foot. Russell Westbrook, he played probably his most efficient game all season long. I mean, I don't know what more you can ask from this Laker team. Ultimately, what this comes down to is that we didn't have LeBron James. Not saying it's LeBron's fault, because it is not LeBron's fault. He is injured. But I'm saying, had we had a healthy LeBron, or a LeBron that was even, good enough to play the game, we would have won this game. Given the way AD played, given the way Russ played, it was just great. Does this change my perspective on how I view this season? No, it does not. Obviously, we are on the outside looking in for the play-in tournament. There's a slim chance that we do make it, but I'm always holding on to that 1% chance because there's always belief, right? There's always belief that this team can get it together and win 4 straight. That is always a possibility, so I'm not willing to give that up until we're officially eliminated. But you look at our entire team, our entire roster, it's not as bad as people want to make it out to be, right? Avery Bradley playing really good pressure defense, 10 points. Malik Monk, I felt like he could have done a little more, but he didn't really get the touches that he normally gotten, so 11 points, right? Carmelo Anthony, 17 points. So when you look at what we did offensively, right? Offensively was never the issue, it was always defensively. I can look at, Will Barton. He made 6 out of 8 from the 3-point line. Ultimately, that's what killed us. It wasn't Jokic doing what he normally does, because Jokic is always going to play amazing, and he was in foul trouble too. But Will Barton and Aaron Gordon combined for 49 points. That's really where the loss came from. DeMarcus Cousins off the bench, 14 points. So, ultimately it was just the defensive collapses on their bench players. And, I don't know what else we could have done, at least offensively. Offensively, we couldn't do anything different. Had we had LeBron James, there's no way we lose this game, which is my point. And, I'm not going to sit here and make any excuses, because when I look at this team, this Laker team, and the position that they're in now, they have 14 or 15 double-digit blown leads for a reason, okay? Like, they are not capable of holding on to a lead consistently. And they were up 6 to 8 points on the Nuggets, right? And I'm not saying they did that in the fourth, but what I'm saying is they were not able to close the deal when they had the opportunity. They were not able to extend the lead when they had the opportunity. And, their defense broke down when it mattered most. And this is not a formula for winning. As great as their offense was, they're allowing 125 plus points, and the Lakers have 118. This is literally the game of who is going to outscore the other. It's not about who is going to get the defense to stop, who is going to do, who's going to do most when it matters most. And ultimately, that was the Nuggets. And you got to give props to them. And the Lakers, unfortunately, are going to fall to 31 and 47. So, their road to the play-in is much more bleak than, originally was. But, what else am I supposed to say, man? This was just, I'm not surprised that this happened. It's just a little disappointing that the way that this season is ending, because AD, had he been healthy, right? LeBron, it just never seemed like we can get a fully healthy team, for a longer period of time. So that's my point. But that's all I have for this video, man. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below what your guys' thoughts were on the Nuggets beating the Lakers in the fourth quarter, obviously within the last 5 minutes, and subscribe more. Alright guys, peace out, and as always, go Lakers.